Hello subscribers, and welcome to another subscription video. Again today, joined by Peter Ebdrup, because we're gonna talk Colombia. I think I should start brewing some coffee first. While I brew a calita of one of the two coffees that we're gonna send you, the Desarollo, why don't you talk a little bit about what Desarollo is?
Desarollo was kind of the first coffees we really started to focus on having a relationship with back in 2012, I think now. And it's an association of farmers in the region Huila, around the city of Gigante. As that relationship developed, we started to find individual farmers that we would work more specifically with, but we still do some business with this association to get this kind of balanced, more low acidity, clean cup of coffee that's more based on the AA quality of the region, of a variety of farmers.
I went with you to Colombia 2.5 years ago to visit. I got the impression that it was actually quite a big of an association.
It is. It's the primary association of that region. Also, they're based on mostly quality coffee. They do sell some coffees to other markets, but mostly they focus on quality and do actually provide quite good pricing for the farmers as well. I think there are at the moment around a little over 400. It changes, it varies. And this, as a farmers association, it is something that the farmers choose. So this democratically elected president who sits there, and actually at the moment it's one of the farmers that we work with.
Which one?
Jaime Casillas.
Senior or junior?
Junior.
Junior.
Yeah.
Jaime Andrés
exactly.
Casillas.
He's been the president for the past two election periods, and obviously he's a young, ambitious guy, and very, very good to have someone like him work with this association and help farmers develop their quality and the progress forward.
Also because it shows other farmers that these young farmers are actually into coffee and see a future in working with specialty coffee. Exactly. It can be a good, thriving business.
It is, and it's been a good relationship for a long time, and the single farmer coffees we get are really great, but in that region the farms are quite small. So in terms of having a little bit of a coffee that we can get a little bit of a larger volume is something we appreciate that we can do through this association as well. In Colombia they harvest twice a year, so there's 2 harvests and we get 2 containers a year, so we get 2 shipments per year. But there are some coffees that are more located around specific areas of the year, depending on what we need in our market. And we want, of course, to get to the point where we buy everything from the farmers that we work with. I think that's the end goal for all farmers we work with, is that we want to develop the relationship and the size of the company and the demand to such a degree that we actually buy 100% of what they produce. That's a nice thing. And in terms of the El Desarollo, we actually have that opportunity because the farmers that we work with in this region also are a part of El Desarollo. So if we can't buy everything that they produce for a single farm coffee, then we buy up their coffees to put into this Desarollo blend instead.
Yeah, and that's blended together based on quality and taste being similar, so that it creates a taste profile that is very clean, sweet, balanced, but it also has to have some acidity, and the aromatic profile has to be sort of aligned.
Exactly.
And they do that through both having similar processing methods, but also similar varieties, or is it a mix of varieties?
It's a mix of varieties, but it is like what goes into the blend is usually mostly the Caturra, which is the predominant variety that they grow there. And that's usually what goes into the blend, and that's all done by our partners down there who collect coffees, cup them, grade them as well, and then fit them into these. So normally what we would use for a single farmer coffee has a little like higher acidity, more kind of maybe a distinct aromatic towards a certain fruit, and we'll keep that separate under one farm's name. And then the coffees that are clean, more balanced and sweet, that have a lower acidity and more kind of a transparent kind of feel from coffee and farm to farm, then that goes into what we call the CC blend, which is in the Desarollo Association.
I brewed a couple of cups of the Desarollo for us on Calita Wave, using 32 grams of coffee to 500 grams of water. Pouring time about 1 minute and 50, 1:55 on this one. Another half to whole minute drain time.
Yeah.
Ground on our EK in the back here using clean RO water. It should taste good. If it doesn't, then it's on me, not on anyone else.
Or me.
Right, so this is the coffee from Desarollo, but you're also getting a bag of Duver, who's also a member of Desarollo, but it's a single farm. And it's coffee from him and his brothers still, or is it just his farm now?
Yes, some of it will be from one of his brothers. So it is the same farm, but their father owned a large piece of land, and when he died, it was divided out onto his siblings. So that area where Duver's farm is also where his brothers are. It's the kind of the same area of the mountain. So some of the coffees we do get over, especially for the single farm coffee. We do get some of the highest grade collected into Duver's as well. Like I said, the farms are quite small, so and subscriptions are growing. So in terms of also getting enough coffee, so we can share these beautiful coffees, we do mix in. But in terms of processing, it's the same methods they use, and it's the same coffee trees, and everything is basically the same piece of land.
And this coffee, the Duver, is actually exclusive for you subscribers. It's a coffee that we used to have in our range, but as we grew and as coffee shops grew and the harvest, the output, the yield from Duver didn't grow, it was the same. It's been kept, put aside as an exclusive only for subscription coffees, which I'm very happy about, because we like to offer you something that nobody else gets access to as part of your loyalty to our subscription program. What would you say people can expect in terms of flavor difference between this one that I brewed, the Desarollo, and the Duver? And I should say the reason I haven't brewed it is because it's so fresh in that we don't have it available for us today.
Exactly, it's getting roasted just for you guys.
I'm glad I'm a subscriber.
Yeah, the difference between the two coffees are quite easy to explain. I think when you taste the Desarollo, you'll get a very kind of pleasant, balanced, round feel, slight orange notes, kind of that zesty feel. That's where you get most of the fruit and acidity. Otherwise, it's just very, very sweet and balanced. Really well-produced coffee. And for Duver's, it's a little bit more distinct. So in the grade with the single farm coffees we get from Duver, we get kind of these tea flavors. So you get this kind of English breakfast coffee feel with slight aromatic floral notes towards kind of the black tea aromatics, and then you find a slightly higher acidity as well, tied in with these tangerine notes. So in many ways there are similarities to the two coffees. You just see that one is the balanced sweet, and the other one is the more acidic and more kind of challenging on the aroma profile.
Yeah, in some years I found the Duver to be a little more wild, like a little more like you'd sense almost like some tropical fruit notes in there, and just like more complexity as well, where the Desarollo is even cleaner, more like pleasing in some ways than the Duver. I think can sometimes be a little more complex and challenging, maybe even for me when I taste it.
And there are also more varieties in the Duver coffee. You find both Tavi, Bourbon, you find some Geisha, you find some pink Bourbon in there as well. There's Typica as well. Whereas the Desarollo coffee is predominantly Caturra.
And brewing these two coffees as espresso, I would also try to highlight that. Try to look for more complexity when you extract the Duver, and try to look more for balance and sweetness, and maybe a really pleasing mouthfeel, I think, on the Desarollo when you extract that. I would keep both about like 19 in to 40 out, 27-ish seconds, but do experiment. It's varies so widely between machines and types of water that you're using and everything. Do your own experimentation, but also let us know what you find in these two coffees. Thanks a lot for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
And a little fun fact is that by the time you watch this, Peter will actually be on ground in Colombia visiting Duver and Desarollo and all the other producers that we work with in Colombia. I think Colombia is the country where, or I know that it's the country where we work with the most producers actually.
Yeah, it is.
Super exciting, and it's going to be a busy trip for you now.
It is. I'm very excited. It's nice to get out of this COVID fog and actually go visit some farmers again.
It's going to be brilliant. We look forward to seeing your reports from down there. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time for 2 new coffees.